Good morning everyone and welcome to another English lesson. Today we are going to be looking at holiday brochures and travel writing, trying to invite people and encourage people to come on holiday to a location in the world. So we are going to have a sneaky reveal this morning of the illustration that you looked at in the last English lesson to find out where in the world that it is. And then we are going to look at the features of a text for a holiday brochure. So quite exciting lesson today for us, guys. Here was the illustration that we looked at yesterday. It was this small harbour coastal town or settlement in the mountains somewhere in the world. I said it might be in the northern hemisphere or somewhere near the Arctic Circle. And if you paid attention to the map lesson right at the start of our home learning, you will have noticed it was a country that is in the world up near the Arctic Circle, and that country was Iceland. So born long ago in a small Icelandic town, it was clear from an early age that Arthur was always going to be a bit different. Now, we are going to be writing a travel or holiday brochure for Iceland in the next couple of lessons. So that is going to be our next big write. Our next big write will be a proper holiday brochure that some of you will make at home, perhaps on your laptops or ones that are handwritten. But before we get to our big write, we need to learn everything there is to know that we can possibly learn about holiday brochures, all of the techniques that people write in them, and how to make them really, really good and nice and polished. So that's what we're going to begin in today's lesson. Okay then, we are going to be looking at a travel brochure today for a company called the Nordic Experience, and this one is entitled Lapland Dreams. Okay, so there is a place in the world called Lapland. Okay, that is in the northern hemisphere as well, near the Arctic Circle, a very cold place. It's quite a Christmassy looking holiday, this one. And as you can see, there's a little girl here with a snow globe where Santa seems to be trapped inside for eternity, being covered in snow. Okay, so this is a nice little travel brochure. Straight away, you've got a lovely picture, so you know exactly where it is you're going and what to expect. Now I'm going to fly down to page 6. Lovely bit of few reindeers. You might have noticed a few things so far to do with this. Few features. There's loads of pictures. Now this is the main bit I'm going to focus on, so I'll try and fill my page up. It says Haraniva. Okay, if I'm pronouncing that badly, I apologize if I'm not. And here is a nice little lodge, it looks like, where you can stay. Lots of different flags of the world here. It looks quite cozy. Wilderness Lodge Hotel. I wonder what this is. Now the Pieti Canaan Family's Wilderness Lodge, again I'm sorry for pronunciations, at Haraniva stands alongside the frozen Muini, I can't say these words, I'm sorry guys, Muinio River, making the border between Finnish and Swedish Lapland. Mr. Nash needs to learn some Finnish and Swedish perhaps. And it's home to largest husky kennels in Lapland. Okay, so maybe something to do with huskies and dogs, that's very nice. So it seems like there's a very short paragraph here that's telling me what to expect. The glow from the windows lights up the pine, the lodge, and it's adjacent, means next to, giant aurora cota and illuminates the snowy landscape. Once inside, a comforting cauldron of warmth instantly wraps you up with an at-home feeling. And with huskies barking in the background, it's as if Haraniva is saying, let the magic begin. Okay, there's so much to unpick there, but that makes me feel, looking at these pictures as well to support the idea, I'm going to be going here, it's going to be snowy and Christmassy outside, and I'm going to be all snug and warm even though it's cold outside. Now, one of the devices that the writer is using here is turning sometimes negatives into positives. Because realistically, if we were all to stand out here in the snow, as fun as it is, after an hour or two, we would start to feel incredibly cold. And so what they've done here is people don't want to go on holiday and be freezing the whole time, because that wouldn't be very nice if you're constantly cold. So what they've done is they've actually turned a negative into a positive. Yes, snow is very pretty, but if you spend all of your time in it, you will be freezing cold. But don't worry, because you can come inside and be wrapped in a cauldron of warmth, and we all feel an at-home feeling. Okay, so it's very clever what the author has done here. They go on to say the hotels, apostrophe possession, cozy rooms are all clad in local pine, and simply furnished with traditional crafted fabrics. Okay, lots of really nice information here. You can even have a room with your own private sauna. Okay, and a sauna is a nice place to get nice and warm as well if you're cold. And all of these pictures help build up this idea of such a comfy and cozy place. And then there's a little subheading here which says accommodation. Okay, a subheading is like a mini title that tells your reader what to expect in the next paragraph or the next couple of sentences. Accommodation, so you can have different types of little huts here. Some are sauna suites with 2 to 4 people, some are 2 to 6 people. Okay. Moving on, some more nice little pictures. Another subheading, around and about. Husky kennels, lovely. Oh, you can see some little puppies to cuddle. I'm sure lots of people are thinking, oh, puppies. And that's the whole point, because they're really trying to persuade you to come, because they've got to include things here to entice you to want to visit them. There's lots of clear paragraphs. It's not all one big blob of text. Lots of photos. No prices so far, no maps. Oh look, we've got some Aurora Borealis here, the Northern Lights. That's going to be something else that you probably won't see if you're living in Gloucester. Oh look, along a track running by the side of the Husky Kennels is a reindeer corral where Rudolph lives with his reindeer friends. Amazing. I've got all this stuff. There's a nice little cozy place here for adults to go and a nice place for dinners. This is making me really want to go and visit. Our Dancing with the Elves dreams, day 1. Leaving for Lapland from London Heathrow. So everything is really structured here to make it as simple as possible, but to be as inviting as possible. We will head to a traditional cotta to make wooden elves, make Christmas wishes and toast marshmallows whilst enjoying hot chocolate and delicious cake. Notice the adjectives here. It's not just nice chocolate or nice cake. It's using these nice adjectives, RUS suffix here, to really make you want to visit their holiday destination. Okay, keep going down. Okay, so here are some dates. Now, this was made in 2018. Oh, and we've got prices as well. Goodness me, these are quite expensive holidays. An adult is £1,745 per person, but that is 3 days of holiday. Okay, so there's lots of different things here. Finally, we've got prices and so much information. Okay, this will be really, really useful. So this is a good example of a really nice travel brochure. Okay, and if I wanted to, I can actually find out more information by calling this phone line. Okay, or to book my holiday. So there is just so much information here for you to have a look at. Okay, when you come to do your work today, your learning objective will be to observe and analyse different forms of writing, and your task is to find and describe features of a holiday brochure. Here is the table that I've created for you then to have a little look at. You have different columns, and essentially what you're going to do is you're just going to write a little bit of information in here about what you have found and what you can see, and this is basically a little table of evidence. So you can write, you can lift things, even if you have to just copy and paste a few bits from the text of where you found the following things. For example, is it an attractive, eye-catching design? Now, what I mean by that, is it eye-catching? Well, I would say there's loads of pictures here. There's loads of sort of that visual description of what you can see. You know, we could see Santa at one point. We could see the nice little huts. And I know that's going to link nicely to our photos and drawings over here. But I would answer here, yes, comma, I can see lots of blah, blah, blah photographs of ... This is useful because why? Why do you think it's useful that they've used lots of photographs? What would you think it would look like if everything was just written on a page with no pictures on a blank white background? Have a think. Why would that not be as good? If you were going to spend, well, how much was it, £1,700, would you want to make sure first that you could see exactly where it was you were going, or would you prefer to just trust someone that's written it on a piece of paper? I think I know which one I would prefer. Okay, so I would like you to explain, think of the evidence, and explain why that's useful for this holiday brochure. Not just, yes, I can see pictures, full stop. No, why? Okay, I always say that. I'll be that annoying Mr. Nash saying why, okay, because that's going to really help up level your writing. Is there a title and what the leaflet is about? Well, yes, there was a title because that was all the names Mr. Nash couldn't pronounce. So have a look at that again. Everything is below on this document. It's all down the page. Just scroll down. Are there headings and subheadings? Different sizes of fonts and colour? Yep, there were different colour fonts actually in this if you look very carefully. Again, why is that important? Why do you think they changed the colour of the font? Do you think it makes the text more interesting? Is there any persuasive slogans or persuasive language? Or look at the adjectives maybe that the author has chosen. And what you can do is you can put them in your speech marks. So if I remember they said about delicious something. I can't remember what it was they were describing. Oh yes, I do. It was delicious cake. So I might put some of that. Yes, comma. The author used lots of descriptive language. And what are they called when you describe what they're describing with? Oh yes, they're called adjectives. Adjectives, including delicious cake. Okay, and you might think, right, oh, why has the author done that? Why do you think they've done that? Moving on. Are there photos, drawings, or diagrams? We'll have a look at the text. Useful information on prices and how to get there. There was. So again, look at the text. Was there any maps? Okay, have a little think about that. And once you've done this, okay, to the best of your ability, find the evidence. If there isn't anything, that's absolutely fine. Tell me. I'm going to ask you to write a couple of sentences below to describe what you have learned about the holiday brochure and what it is as a text. Okay, so describe some of those features. So it might be something about, well, what I have learned is that a holiday brochure has lots of information and lots of description and lots of pictures because they are trying to, that really important word down here, persuade people to spend their money and go on their holiday. Okay, because if that way they're going to really entice people to come to their holiday destination. Finally then, so when you're writing these sentences, I might say something like, from this text, comma, I can see that persuasive language and description is really important for holiday brochures because ... I don't know, it gives the reader something to kind of imagine in their minds because it might encourage people to come on a holiday. So this is the sort of sentences I want at the bottom. 3 or 4 sentences if possible, and if you can, to really impress me, include some evidence in that. Okay, and what I mean by evidence is describe what you saw and what you read. Maybe some quotes like I showed you here, delicious cake, inside these speech marks, because that will really prove your point. Okay, so remember, P on the page, point, evidence, explain, please. Thanks, guys, and that is everything for today.